So if you have a Netflix, right, there's a lot of movies to watch, depending on which, continent you live on, whether it's, Europe, North America, Asia, et cetera, et cetera. It all depends, right? Some regions they have different types of movies versus the other regions. But the one thing that a lot of people have noticed is these movies don't stay forever. They stay for maybe a month or 2 months or a few months. So how does it work? Like, how do you know how long are these movies going to stay, right? For example, like the movie Speed and Speed 2 Cruise Control and the Fast and the Furious franchise has been released on August 1st. So how long is this going to stay, right? Well, it depends on what type of agreement Netflix made with 20th Century Studios, right? Which is also owned by Disney, right? Maybe Disney wants it back to put on the Disney Plus. I think they already have it on Disney Plus, I think. I don't know. Or maybe Hulu. Maybe other services they want to pick it up and play it, right? So it really depends on how much Netflix is willing to pay and what type of a deal of exclusivity they're willing to make. Again, it really depends. Like if this movie is being watched a lot, right? Let's say that this movie is being watched quite a lot and a lot of people are watching this movie, right? Then Netflix might keep it there. Netflix might keep it there for maybe 6 months, right? To like maybe, January 2027 throughout the holiday season, right? So it really depends on popularity of like how many people are watching this movie, how many times they're watching it. Netflix could renew a lease for another 6 months till 2027, spring, right? Or maybe 2027 summer. So it really depends on popularity of the movie. It depends on like what type of a contract deal they make uh, with renewing the license, et cetera, et cetera. So it all really depends. But that's one of the things that really kind of sucks about, Netflix, in my opinion, is that these movies, they don't stay here forever. And that was like my only complaint about why I canceled my Netflix membership. Now, these movies are great. Like, sure, Speed, it's a classic 1994 movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's definitely worth seeing. Uh, Fast and the Furious original and the entire Fast and the Furious franchise, that's pretty cool to be able to watch the entire Fast and the Furious franchise. But here's the thing, both Speed 2, Cruise Control, and the Fast and the Furious franchise um, are not going to stay here forever. Just like Independence Day didn't stay there for a long time and it was removed. Now it's on the other streaming services and like on Disney Plus. So that's the only like caveat that sucks about Netflix. If Netflix could you know make a deal with these studios and continue paying these licenses like a lot of money. And if they could keep these movies, I think that would be worth paying $30 a month, right? I don't think anyone would complain about, hey, I'm going to pay $30 a month if I can watch Speed, Speed 2, all the John Wick movies franchise, all of the Fast and Furious franchise, all of the Jurassic Park franchise, all of these classic movies, like a Die Hard, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Cliffhanger, Con Air, Face Off, Hard Target by Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the all the other movies like uh, Con Air, The Rock, right? All these classic movies, the original Top Gun movie, uh, or Top Gun Maverick or Avatars, if they had like a great library of these movies, then people would say, hey, the $30 a month is not such a bad deal, right? People would say, hey, I can access these movies on the go, watch it on my phone, on my tablet, anywhere I go. Then I think that would add to a value. But to me, a Netflix original movies are not enough to warrant, and their documentaries are not enough to warrant $30 a month, because to be honest, I don't think their original movies are that great. This year they really started kind of like very mediocre with the movie called The Rip, which was released early this year in January, and then they had another flop called Thrasher, with all these sharks during the hurricane flooding. Then there was another movie that was decent. It was War Machine, which I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty decent. And then we had Apex with Charlize Theron, which I thought it was just total flop. And then we had some more flops after that. Um, The Last House, like I haven't heard anything like great about it. It's trending like number 3 or number 4 or something like that. Um, so the original Netflix movies, in my opinion, are not that great to warrant $30 a month. If they can create some really great original content, okay, then people would say, all right, well, it's worth paying 30. But they need to be able to like bring a library like what Netflix needs to become like a Blockbuster Video Store. I used to work at the Blockbuster Video Store. In Blockbuster Video Store, we had all of the movies. Speed, Independence Day, everything you can think of. All of the studios were there. All of the studio movies were there. Netflix has giga-trillions of dollars. They can easily pay all of these Hollywood studios, all of these licenses, right? And they can pay for all these leases of the licenses, and they can keep these movies constantly on the Netflix. Yes, they would have to pay a higher price for renewing the license, and I'm sure the studios would say, yeah, sure, you're paying us great amount of money, great deal amount of money. Why wouldn't we want to let you have our movies? Sure, you know. But Netflix doesn't have that right now. And I don't know why they're not doing that. I'm pretty sure 20th Century Studios and Warner Brothers and Paramount, I'm sure if Netflix pays them a lot of money each month or each year, if they paid them a bunch of millions of dollars, I'm sure studios will say, yeah, sure, this is easy money. Yeah, I have our library catalog of movies, you know, let us make money off of it. Sure. But Netflix is not doing that. And they can easily do that. They have the ability to do that because they're giga-trillionaires. They're a much bigger franchise than Blockbuster Video Store, and they could easily pay all these licenses because they're giga-trillionaires. Uh, so, look, if Netflix could bring these great classic catalogs of movies, I wouldn't mind paying $30 a month. Like, how cool is that? That I can access these movies on the go everywhere I go on my phone or on my tablet, and I can watch these movies. Uh, these classic movies that I love from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000, right? If they can bring Gladiator, X-Men, all these movies like Matrix, right? Fight Club, etc., etc. Movies like Seven with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. Um, all of these Spielberg movies like Minority Report, War of the Worlds, Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, right? All these great movies. If they could bring all these great movies and keep them here, I think this would be like not a problem for me. Like just the fact if they could keep like a Fast and the Furious franchise, they have it right now. To me, just to be able to have Fast and the Furious franchise um, on one service and I can always access it, I can always watch it. To me, dude, that's like worth $30 a month. Like, here, take my money, dude. Like, I'll easily pay 30 to be able to access Speed and Speed 2 and all these Keanu Reeves movies, all the John Wick franchise movies, dude. Like, take my money. If I could access Rocky franchise movies, all of the Rocky movies, dude, take my money. If they had like Kurt Russell's, John Carpenter's The Thing, and Escape from New York, Escape from LA. bro, take my money, dude. But the thing is, they don't. And this is something that I talked about before that really sucks about Netflix. Um, you know, it's not that $30. Listen, I don't mind paying $30. Hear me out. And I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't mind paying $30 a month if there was a good reason, good value, right? People don't care. They're going to spend money one way or the other. It's the value, like what value are you giving me? And I think that's what Netflix needs to focus. They need to focus on what's the value. I know right now they're banking on the GTA 6, and yes, people will pay $30 just to watch GTA 6 come next Thursday. But that's the one-time deal. That's the one-time thing, and after that they will cancel. You need you need to be able to sustain yourself to keep people staying. If they're constantly canceling, then you're not really doing a great job. To be successful, you have to keep people staying. That's the whole idea, right? How do I keep you to stay? How do I keep majority of people to stay and not cancel, right? So my advice to Netflix is if they ever see this, try to pay licenses to 20th Century Studios, Columbia Pictures, Universal Pictures, Warner Brothers, Paramount. Uh, and I think if you can do that and bring all of these great movies, all these classic great movies, I'm telling you, uh, like I said, I'll personally will pay $30 a month if I'm able to access Fast and the Furious franchise. If you can keep Fast and the Furious franchise and Speed, uh, dude, I'll gladly pay $30 a month. You know, people say, well, why don't you just buy Fast and the Furious on the Blu-ray? Why don't you buy Speed on the Blu-ray? Yeah, but I can only watch it at home. I want to be able to watch this on the go everywhere I go, dude. You know, what I'm saying? If I'm traveling, I want to be able to watch this movie anywhere, anytime on the go. I want to be able to watch, Fast and Furious franchise anywhere on the go. So if you want my advice, Netflix, just, you know, see if you can make a deal with 20th Century Studios and Warner Brothers and Columbia Pictures, Sony Pictures, and Universal Studios, and Warner Brothers. If you could keep these movies here, yes, you might have to pay a little extra, but you have gigatrillions of dollars, and you will make that extra money at the end of each year, right? I'm telling you, people will stay. People will subscribe. $30 a month. If you can keep Speed, if you can keep Fast and the Furious franchise and all these other great movies like a Die Hard, Cliffhanger, Predator, Alien, Aliens. Are you kidding me, dude? People will pay, you know. Um, they'll pay. I don't think Disney would mind. 20th Century Studios would mind because they're making double the money. Okay, you're paying them X amount of money to keep the movies here, but they also have movies there, so they're like it works both ways. They're still making money. So I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. I'm just telling you what people are thinking. Remember, in order to keep people to stay at your service, you got to give them a good reason to stay. And a movie like this, right? You look at Speed. A movie like this certainly helps that. When you have a movie like Speed, like this, or a movie like Die Hard or Die Hard with a Vengeance, Predator, Predator 2, Alien, Aliens, Rocky franchise, Fast and the Furious franchise, uh, you know, Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight franchise, all of these movies, man, these classic movies like a Cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone, um, you know, movies like The Rock and Con Air. Those are blockbuster movies. Armageddon, Independence Day, right? The original Top Gun. These are classic movies. People would easily stay and subscribe if they can watch all of these movies on the go. You know, and that's what I honestly think. And that's like the only way. That's like the only way, in my opinion, that you can keep the people from not canceling and from staying. I would never cancel if you kept all of these movies like Independence Day, this movie, Speed, Fast and the Furious franchise, like Chronicles of Riddick, like the new Riddick movie, it's leaving soon. Like that sucks. I want to watch Riddick. I like Riddick. I like Chronicles of Riddick. I like Pitch Black. I like these old, Vin Diesel. I mean, I used to be a huge fan. I'm still a fan of Vin Diesel. Like these are the movies that, like, I mean, I am. I mean, I was a huge fan. I'm still am a huge fan of Vin Diesel, of course. So to have all of his movies, to be able to watch all of the Vin Diesel movies, including Triple X, Pitch Black, Fast and the Furious franchise, Chronicles of Riddick, all of that, and that new Riddick movie. Absolutely, dude. Like, take my money, dude. Just the Fast and the Furious franchise, all of the Fast and the Furious movies. Like, dude, take my money, bro. Just Speed and Fast and the Furious for me would be enough, like, to pay $30 a month. But here's the thing: I know that this will leave. I know the Speed is going to go and leave. Maybe next month, maybe by the end of October, right? Same thing with the Fast and the Furious. Maybe by the end of September, Fast and the Furious franchise will be gone. And I mean, that's the only thing that sucks about Netflix, because I know this movie will leave. I know the Fast and the Furious franchise will leave. You know, and that's where people get turned off. They're like, "Come on, man! You're supposed to be the blockbuster of movies." I used to work at the Blockbuster Video Store, Netflix. Okay, um, and in the Blockbuster Video Stores, we had everything, dude. Even though it was a Viacom, but Viacom company was owned by Paramount. Viacom was CBS, CBS company. Viacom, CBS back then, Paramount Studios. They paid for all the licenses for every studio. So we had every movie, dude. Every movie you can think of, it was on the Blockbuster Video Store. You know, so and that's what you need to be, Netflix. You need to be the Blockbuster Video Store. Is what you need to be in order for you to keep people coming back, to keep people paying for the membership. People don't mind paying $30 if you can give them some sort of a reason as to why they should pay $30 a month. Anyway, this is just my opinion from someone who used to work at the Blockbuster Video Store a long time ago. And I'm telling you, like, it's the movies, bro. The original ones that you have, I'm sorry, Netflix, they're just not that good enough. I don't care about the documentaries. I don't like documentaries because, they're documentaries. I'm not interested in documentaries. I'm interested in movies, okay? It's supposed to be movies, great movies, like a Blockbuster Video Store, movies. That's what you need to focus on, movies. That's what people want to see, movies. Huge catalog of movies that they can access, and they will not have a problem paying $30 a month. Think of this like a feedback, Netflix. If you see this, if the Netflix marketing team sees this, which I'm sure they will, think of this like a feedback. I'm giving you a feedback from someone who used to work at the Blockbuster Video Store. So I'm giving you a feedback as to what you need to do in order to keep people staying so they can pay the membership. That's the whole idea, for them to stay and keep paying for the membership. So I hope this feedback helps, you know. Anyway, so that's the video. So I just want to talk about this a little bit and explain to some of you guys as to how this works. So, like, right now you need to watch this, like, because I don't know how long the Speed's going to stay here. I don't know how long, the Fast and the Furious franchise is going to stay here. But now is the time for you to watch, to subscribe to Netflix and watch this. Like, I would subscribe for 1 month for 30 days, watch Speed and Fast and the Furious franchise, and then after 1 month, I guess you can cancel. But that's the thing. We don't know how long this is going to stay, but it's certainly not going to stay too long. It will be removed once the deal expires, right? So that's the part that sucks. It's these movies leaving from Netflix. I talked about this in the past. Like, this is the one thing that sucks. So hopefully this feedback that I'm giving to the Netflix marketing Hopefully they'll look at this feedback and they'll like say, hey, look at this guy, Mr. 4K. He used to work for Blockbuster Video Store. Maybe we should listen to his feedback. Maybe we should look into his input feedback. I think he might be right, you know, because this is what people want, you know. And I think I speak for everyone when I say this. This is what people want. I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me. Anyway, that's what I think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Guys, let's get to 60,000 subscribers, all right? So we can open the comments and we can open the chat. Let's get there. I know we can do it. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah, come on, man. Can't you see, bro? You got me here stuck in this bus with lovely Sandra Bullock. Now, don't you want me to come back as John Wick returns on this bus? And if this bus doesn't reach 60,000 subscribers, then guess what? All the bets are off. So what do you do, punk? What do you do? I'll tell you what you do. You make sure you subscribe and you reach 60,000 subscribers. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.